Basil Wraithbone for the BBC and London Times with an exclusive transatlantic interview with the American author and multimedia dance artist Kenneth King. Mr. King, would you please tell us how it all began? Thank you for the invite, Mr. Wraithbone, but please call me Kenneth. Well then, please call me Basil. Well, Basil, as a kid, I was fascinated with puppets, hand puppets and marionettes, and I made my own out of found materials. Oh? My parents had a magical puppet theater built for me with red velvet drawer curtains and little footlights. I'd put on shows for my 4-year-old brother, Grant. That's when I first began playing with character voices. Later, when I became a dancer, I realized I secretly wanted to be the puppets. Oh my goodness! And then what happened? In 10th grade, I finally got up my nerve and tried out for a play. It was Julius Caesar. I got the part of the old soothsayer who repeated one line, "Beware the Ides of March." And that hooked you on theatre? But what about dance? There was a big lake near where we lived that froze during the winters. My parents gave me hockey skates, but I told them I needed skates with teeth on the front. Oh yes, figure skates. I'd stay out on the ice all day, and by watching others and experimenting, taught myself the basics of figure skating. And that led you to dance? Well, through a detour. The summer after 11th grade, I received an intern scholarship to Adelphi College's theater department. I wanted to be a character actor. One day, Ruth St. Denis lectured. She was 80 years old and stretched her leg over her head. Next, I was in a children's theater troupe and was cast as the Scarecrow in The Wizard of Oz. The director told me I had to take dance classes, and I got hooked. I read that while you were in college, you went to New York City and appeared in the films of several of the emerging, underground, new American cinema filmmakers, Andy Warhol, Gregory Markopoulos, and Jonas Mekas. Yes, but I didn't think about making movies. I was too busy training as a dancer and getting my academic education. But now, with computer, internet, and YouTube, anyone can make a movie. And didn't you also have a dance company? Yes, for many years, until I discovered that a dance can make itself. No choreographer needed. Oh heavens, what do you mean? How is that possible? Please explain. I give the dancers lots of different kinds of material, balletic and modern, and different options for the ways the pieces could be assembled, like a tinker toy that can create different structures. We videotaped rehearsals and performances and studied them. I see. One critic couldn't tell what was set and what was improvised, and we couldn't either. It's an idea for the future. A system is more than the sum of its parts. Instead of an autocratic choreographer, collaborative dance making. And some of your performance video archives are at the New York Public Library for the Performing Arts at Lincoln Center? Yes, and I hope the library will eventually be accessible online or on YouTube. And you've published 6 books, 5 novels. How did that happen? I wrote many texts for my dances, both spoken and recorded, and incorporated characters in some of them. For years, I worked at writing essays. They're the most difficult and demanding. I thought that if you could write a solid essay, it would be possible to write anything. Oh, how interesting. For one dance, I wrote over 25 impossible tongue twisters, each spoken in a different accent. Eventually, that led to creating multiple quick change characters. And the novels came about because after performing characters on stage, you decided to choreograph them on the page. Well, if narrative can be compared to choreography, but when computers and the internet came along and the new millennial was approaching, I discovered that writing fiction was surprisingly liberating. Some of us watch your YouTube channel, Kenneth King Media. Tell me, how did the movies happen? Well, Basil, to tell the truth, I resisted getting a cell phone for many years because they made people behave like zombies. But in 2019, I caved and got an iPhone 10, a supercomputer with great video and sound technology, and luckily, 6 months before COVID. In the digital age, movies and videos are increasingly synonymous. Oh yes, indeed, and COVID has changed everything. And who could live without a cell phone? Prior to that, my 2017 dance solo, Labyrinth with Voices, contained the 7 comic character voices that eventually became my Happy Valley Retirement Village movies, a series that can be watched in any order. They're all on YouTube. And you play all the characters, including impersonating me. How do you do that? Practice. It's a fun challenge, being able to write and act all the different characters. And YouTube is a revolutionary performance platform, accessible to all in our increasingly cyber-challenged world. Thank you, Kenneth King. I hope viewers will check out your YouTube channel, Kenneth King Media, and your books and writings on your website, kennethkingmedia.com. Cheerio!